Hello. Let me get more in the frame. There we go. Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry we're late. I had intended to stream earlier in the afternoon, but I got very caught up. Specifically, no, it wasn't family or anything. I got caught up working on a video, but it's done now. I'm out of editing hell, at least for that one. And so I'm very happy with that. It'll probably come out after New Year's because I want to be able to advertise it and have it dedicate my full attention to making sure everyone on all platforms knows it's coming out. And then get into shorts editing too, woof. A lot of stuff that's getting put off. But we're back. We're gonna be doing some just chill, hanging out tonight. I don't know how long we're gonna go. It's already pretty late. And I'm pretty tired. So, we'll see. It's 8 o'clock now. We might end up going 3 or 4 hours. Or less than that. Today, we're going to continue what we were working on last stream, if you watched that. It goes up on YouTube tomorrow. Oh, and the other thing. I was going to do Chrono Trigger today. But we put it off till the evening, and I also learned that I'm going to be available tomorrow. I didn't think I would be, but I am. So, we'll probably start Chrono Trigger tomorrow. Stream at the usual time, 2 p.m. And then after that, I'm off. What we're gonna do today is first we're just gonna do some cleanup. As you can see, there's some light that's just kind of hanging out over the edges. I also want to add some tarnish to the crown. Other than that, the head's done. So we're just gonna do some cleanup. Oh, and there's, you see on the left side, for some reason there's shadow. No, the shadow is on the right side. Just not as prominent. Maybe because it's darker color. Let's see what we can't do here. There's a lot of layers now, so it's kind of angry with me. I'm just seeing what it looks like. It could just be that maybe I erased too much over here. This is what I was using. Yeah, let's just clean up some of these. I don't know. Yeah, that's not in this layer. So we're cool. Oh, that was probably on the... That was from the ears, where the ears used to be. I know where that's from. I've played this playlist enough times I know what's queued up next. That's bad. And this one's going to be the trunk, wherever that was. It's not the trunk, the tusks I meant. Here. No? Yes. Where's the issue that maybe there's not light on that side? Maybe that's what's happening. It's not that there's not shading on this side, it's that there's not contrast. Nope. Nope, there's contrast. Okay. Oh, wait, that's the problem. There's a big gap there. Found the hole. So I was right, it's because this place is darker, but the dark... We didn't get dark up here. There's the issue. There we go. That's so much better. And it makes sense that would be the issue, because I paint bucketed that part. There we go. I'm almost tempted to add more darkness to the right side, but the issue is that the right side is actually where the light's coming from, so it should be lighter. We'll fix it later if I feel like it needs to be fixed. Otherwise, the only other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to add a little bit of tarnish to the crown. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da-bum. Oh yeah, that's good. It almost looks like a camo pattern a little bit. After we do the body, we might need to take what we have and move it to a new... Either move it to a new map or consolidate the layers. Because I know that whenever I add too many layers, the computer starts to go haywire. Yeah. I'm tempted to add some tarnish to the tusk crown. The difference is that the crown on his head is actually older than the one on his tusk. The one on his tusk is kind of fresh. It's totally fresh, dude. No, not in that sense. I should also... I need to announce this more. I'll make a more public announcement on Twitter. I just keep forgetting about it. I think I'm going to... It just occurred to me because I saw in the corner of my eye viewer count go from 4 to 3. But in the new year, I've been running no mid-roll ads for about 4 months, 6 months, something like that, since August. August or September is when I started. As an experiment to try and get some more people into chat. And I think the experiment has failed. Because I wasn't sure whether... I wasn't sure whether... whether people would be more enticed. I'm going to lower the opacity, maybe, a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's gorgeous. I wasn't sure whether people would be more enticed by having to deal with pre-roll ads, but then having no mid-roll ads and advertising it to make sure people knew, or if people would be more enticed by being able to jump into chat and immediately join and start interacting with stream, but then having to deal with mid-roll. Now, I did a poll, and Twitter told me which I guess that's what I get for listening to Twitter. I asked on Twitter, regular Twitch viewers, do you prefer a streamer who runs pre-roll? When you watch Twitch, do you prefer a streamer who runs pre-roll, but who doesn't have mid-roll? I don't like how that looks. Or would you... a streamer that runs pre-roll but has no mid-roll, or a streamer has mid-roll but no pre-roll? And they said, pre-roll, no mid-roll. And I listened. But I think the issue is that might have been biased slightly. It may have been biased slightly, because of course if it's a streamer that you like, I may have been asking the wrong question is what I'm trying to say. If it's a streamer that you like, yes, you would much rather just have one pre-roll and then no mid-roll, if it's a streamer you like and watch often. What if it's a streamer you've never seen before? Because I feel like over the last few months, I've basically gotten no new viewers, aside from viewers that I've picked up from viewers that I just kind of picked up from other streamers during collabs and raids and things like that. Or people who just, they click on the stream not because they're interested in the game necessarily, but because they saw the Catholic tag, or the conservative tag, or the Christian tag, and that got them excited, and so they're kind of highly motivated. But that's it. I feel like overall exposure's been down. So I'm going to switch back to doing mid-roll but no pre-roll for discoverability purposes. Because if you don't have discoverability, you can't grow your audience. If I had a larger audience, I think I'd probably be content to just play to their wants, but all these layers that don't have anything in them. Oh, the reason they don't have anything in them is because they got clipped out. Delete that too. Okay. Oh yeah, and there's one more thing I want to do just to help clean up a little bit. It's kind of like with writing. There's a rule people will say sometimes, like before you turn something in or publish something, give it 24 hours. Give it 24 hours. So with the perspective, the way it works out is it actually does look like his left ear, but right on his left, our right, is a bit tucked behind, but that's actually kind of okay, because if you remember, there's going to be something on his shoulder that actually will be pushing his ear back a bit. So that's fine. That's fine. Let me just do a white background, see if there's any dark spots. Yes. Yes, there is. I see you. The other one might be up here. Yes, that's what I'm seeing. Ugh. I wish I had a universal eraser. Just erase all layers, because I don't want to sort through all of this. So that's the problem with drawing on a tablet, especially a laptop, is sometimes when I zoom out, I'll just put like a little dot, and I don't need a little dot. I have no idea which layer this piece of crap is in. No. Yes. Okay, there's one. What layer is even this? That's jewelry layer? Makes sense. This little dot, it's not going to be that one. This one? No. See what I mean? I don't know what to do with this. It's this one. There we are. Drives me up a wall. Happens every time. It's okay. Onward and upwards. Now, I'm gonna draw the torso first, then the neck. He's a big guy. This is really funny. Just give this really detailed head. And of course, it's just a shape. I'm sure this is one of the things I teach you not to do in art school. Thing is, he's gonna be wearing armor, so just trying to think. We can clean up a little bit later. Well, we do it all in one layer. I have to make the nose invisible for a second so you can see what I'm doing. Well, that's an idea. We could follow the curvature of the tusks, make it kind of easy. Oh wait, I see. No, that's not the problem. What's happening here? Oh, that's... I see. It's not a VTuber model, so I don't really need to worry about it. Hold on. That doesn't look. I mean, the bro's got a big neck. Let's try this again with a different strategy. That's the middle. Da 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 da. It's gonna be my least favorite song again. My D&D bot is not working right now, and I don't know why, and it's really upsetting me. There should be a bot in chat advertising my D&D books right now. But it's not working, and it hasn't worked. Here we go. We got the peak again. I tried turning it off and on again. It's set so that if I'm doing an art stream, it should be advertising like every 20 minutes or so. Hopefully shading on this should be really easy. In fact, for the light, we don't even need to go to a new tab. We can just use the one we have. Trying to do a little bit of an Adam's apple, but that might just be what it is. Maybe I should make this a bit bigger. Because he's got a big head. Got a big head. Let's do what we did last time and add some texture. I feel like I'm getting into a bit of a groove now. Except that was wrong. There's also going to be, like we did up top, at the bottom, we're gonna do some things. Some things. Here we go. Probably better. Yeah, that's better. It's better than what I did. Okay. No, I forgot to do this a second ago, so we have to do it now. There we go. Luckily, having the big trunk kind of disqualifies us from having any, like, Adam's apple or anything obvious. It would all be covered by the trunk, so we don't have to worry about that level of detail. Now, I think I need to use the restroom, so let's take a quick break. I'm going to use the bathroom and also double check some of my references, and then we'll move on to the body. So be right back. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Forgot to mute my microphone. I hope I didn't say anything embarrassing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit. Oh, that's what I meant. A little bit of sculpting around the body, but not a lot. So we'll kind of do that later. So first, let's actually go ahead and do a rough sketch. Guy's armor's kind of coppery. That's a good copper color. So I was double checking my references. He doesn't have a helmet or any sort of mesh here. So even though it might be inaccurate, it's just going to be his bare skin on brush underneath the armor. Let's bring out the synergy tool again. I might just have to keep his trunk invisible the whole time, huh? That's kind of the rough shape of it. And then a stabilizer, actually. Why am I not using stabilizer? Honestly, did I get that first try? And then let's 2 layers. Bring out the synergy tool again. He has 2 massive pauldrons. And then between them, he'll have sort of a like a black cloak. The synergy tool, I can't see anything. So that's roughly what we're dealing with. I think we might need to move the torso, might not be totally centered. I think the shoulders are uneven, but that's actually a good thing here. Because I didn't even realize he's walking in this pose, so we kind of accidentally blundered ourselves into the perfect perspective. I tell you what, I felt like God's favorite child lately. Like when I was editing earlier, without even trying, a lot of the dialogue and things would just kind of sync up. It just chef's kiss. Ooh, wait, no, this isn't. It implies a bit of a twist in the torso, although I think I need to like raise it up a bit. Trust the process, I tell myself. Let's add some details to the chest here. First, let's I'm gonna get Chopper. There we are. so let's see. Oh, it's okay. Sorry. There actually is going to be quite a bit of shading around here. I don't know what that was. Don't care. There's also some truth that I might just need to revisit this later. I might need to revisit it later, just on account of, I think it's kind of difficult to visualize right now. Why is it disappearing? Oh, that's the neck, that's why. I think there's just going to have to be a balance struck here. We'll have to come back and visit that later. And I'll have to try not to forget about it on that count. Yeah, let's leave that where it is for now. Let's do another layer. It's probably going to need to be multiple here. Trust the process. Trust the process. I had an idea for another video essay today. I think it might end up being the next one I do. So, I was looking over the channel today, and there was an old critical comment that I'd kind of hand-waved off. And looking back, he didn't make good points. I don't think he did. But he made points that were thoughtful and I don't think they were thoughtful. They were kind of regurgitated. But they were plausible. I think plausible is a better word than thoughtful. That I considered responding to it, but I don't do that. I don't want to get into comments wars. But it seemed like an interesting topic, so I thought, maybe I can do a video essay on it, since, Persona 4 Revival's coming out. The subject of the essay is basically how do shadows differ in Persona 4 versus Persona 5. going over what shadows are in the literal sense in those games, because each Persona game has different power systems. Kinda, sorta. They kinda sorta have different power systems. They're explained differently, but if you scratch your head and squint, you can kind of make a way for all of them to work. But this guy, it was on the, I accidentally deleted the comment, which I feel kind of bad about, but also kind of not. It was on the Persona protagonists will not get along, which I mentioned that comment before because it stood out to me. Because he got really angry with me. And I skimmed to the end and kind of wrote it off as him just saying they got along in the non-canon, so therefore they get along. And it's not bad writing, which is just a bad argument. And he also said they don't literally kill the personas. Like, yeah, I know that. It was live streamed. I was talking loosely. But even still, that doesn't, the imprecise language doesn't disprove my point overall, which is that in Persona 4, you're supposed to reconcile with the shadow. Whereas in Persona 5, you beat the shadow within an inch of its life. Which actually is, you know, morally relevant, because they're basically committing aggravated assault of the soul. You know, even if they're not actively trying to kill someone, they're intentionally beating them within an inch of their life. Which still, with the knowledge that they could accidentally kill him if they slip up. Which still seems pretty morally dubious, no? I digress. The point remains that in Persona 4, you're supposed to reconcile with your shadow. That's kind of the whole point. So to make an active game plan of preventing that would be pretty drastically opposed by the Persona 4 group. Trust the process. I think this will start looking really good once we start adding shading. I'm just giving myself a framework. Anyway, the whole point is you're supposed to reconcile with the shadow. Because that's another big difference too. According to Persona 4, you can't beat the shadow. The shadow can't be beat. That's the whole point. You can beat it into submission, but you can't defeat it. You can tire it out, but that's the most you can do. I think it is established that insofar as it is theoretically possible to kill a shadow, it would be bad. Which is why they don't do it. They kind of, if I remember correctly, they almost kill a guy at the end of the game, and it really screws him up. That looks pretty good. The shadow will be specific, but the light, I think, can just go over generally. So let's do all the way down to 7. Look at the picture in the frame, gazing fascination so hard. And so, because the whole point is that the shadow is a part of the self, so you can't destroy it, and you can't get rid of it either. You can tire it out, you can maybe send it, you can repress it, but you can't get rid of it. Kind of the whole point. Because the shadow... Persona 4 is textbook Jung. The shadow isn't evil, necessarily. The shadow is a manifestation of repressed desires. Because it's a manifestation of repressed desires, it is inherently selfish and inherently manic, but it's not inherently evil. But in Persona 5, it's just evil, that's all it is. The other thing is that the shadow manifests as shadow. The conversation continues. Let's keep going like this, and I'll add some other details if I feel like I should. Oh, well, while the conversation is lulling, first of all, if you find this at all appealing, subscribe, follow, like. If anyone's seeing this on YouTube. Second of all, I'm not just drawing characters randomly. The character I'm drawing is a character from a home game I'm running using the Pirates and Power Holders rulebook, a guide to running a One Piece inspired Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I wrote. And I've also written an expansion called Pirate's Guide to the Sky that is coming out in February. Links are in the description always. Okay. I hate plugging myself, but at least there's no one in chat to see it right now. Regardless. It's a manifestation of repressed desire, so it's not inherently evil. Which is why it's an aspect of yourself, and the turmoil of Persona 4 isn't caused by the shadows being evil. It's caused by the person being unable to rectify themselves with the parts of their personality that they don't like. That's all it is. This is looking better, but it's going to... Sorry, I'm just looking over and I'm thinking about what I'm gonna have to do later to make this armor pop a bit more. Yeah, you can't kill the shadow, that's the whole point. The shadow is not evil. It's repressed desires. But then you lead into freaking Persona 5. The shadow is just evil. It's just the darkness in your heart, which is, it's not what the shadow is. We're already working by a different paradigm. Because you notice the people that they're fighting, they're not repressed. They are very much acting on their evil desires, and it's kind of the whole point. It's kind of the whole point of trying to take them out. So technically, by the standards of Persona 4, they shouldn't even have shadows. You think of minor spoilers, Akechi, well, it's major spoilers, but the game has been out for so long that you're spoiled or you're not. I'm not fussed about it. Akechi doesn't have a shadow. He has a persona, even though he's evil. Not Akechi. You know who I'm talking about. The main villain of Persona 4. I don't know why I said Akechi. Akechi's Persona 5. Freudian slip, I guess. But I'm so bad with Japanese names, you have to forgive me. I know what I need to do. I might require some editing later. A lot of these lines might need to be redrawn. That's okay. And here, to give you a reference, do a little sketch. Did I not make a new layer? Maximum. Okay, I hit the maximum. Cool. Let's clear out some of these then. I don't have any other hidden layers. I'm just stuck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to draw this in a new... I'm gonna have to transfer this image over and then finish it in a new file. That's what I'm gonna have to do. But, he's gonna have... little guy on his shoulder. Little guy might be a little larger. But yeah, that'll happen eventually. This is a sword, that's what that is. The little... Anyway. I'm gonna keep him there. He'll keep he'll keep us company, surely. Quiet day. I was hoping, Since no one's streaming on Christmas, I might catch some strays, but no, seems not. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, shadows aren't just evil. That's kind of the whole point. If they were simply evil, it would unravel the themes of the game. Persona 4. The whole point is that you have to reconcile with your shadow, or else it's going to just wreak havoc. You can't just beat it like a boss and then expect it to go away. But then in Persona 5, that's exactly what happens. The whole point of the shadow is you can't get rid of it, because if they could get rid of it, they would have gotten rid of it. Could you imagine the Persona 4, especially you think about... I'm so bad with names. You think about like Naoto and the kid, I can't remember his name. The one who struggles with homosexuality. If you told them they could kill their shadows, they would. Absolutely. They all would, I think. Except for maybe Yukiko. But they can't. That's not an option. They have to... The only option is to... Shadows can't be defeated. The only option is to overcome it. That's kind of the whole point. If shadows can just be beaten into submission, then it derails the whole point of Persona 4. Did I put the clavicles in their own layer? Yeah, I did. I'll address that later, I guess. And so I guess you could, in an effort of fairness, you could say, well then, don't compare them. Because the shadows are different and they work differently. But if you assume it's the same world, which you would have to in a theoretical world, then there's still conflict there. In fact, even if they're in the same world, because there's a moral dilemma to it. When they beat the shadow, the guys are effectively brainwashed. They're not being freed from the evil desire that's taken them over. They're just being brainwashed. Because that's not how shadows work. Either in real life or in the Persona universe. Shadows are just repressed desires. And the whole point of Persona 4 is that even the parts of yourselves that even the parts of yourself that you don't like are still a part of yourself. That's the whole point. That's the whole theme of the game. Is that by learning to accept even the parts of yourself that you don't like, you achieve self-actualization, which is also Jung, always Jung. And that's how you get your persona, is your persona is your shadow. It's just the shadow that you've accepted. It's your actualized self, the fusion of your ego and your shadow. starting to come together. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the neck. The neck worries me. I don't know why it worries me. It shouldn't. I think I just need to add some shading. Yeah, especially like around here to imply the pecs. I think that's what I need to do. Mans here has 18 strength. So he's ripped. I miss my wife. Yeah, at the risk of complaining, I thought streaming on... Well, I know... I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? There's less traffic. That also means less competition, but... I'm gonna need to add a second layer of shading. Like darkening. I might have to start getting creative with lights and shadow. I'm tired, but I hope I made my point clear. A shadow is a part of the self, so when you destroy it, you destroy a part of the self. Which the Persona 4 gang would argue is inherently immoral. You could say, well, they're not actually destroying the shadow, but they are. They're sending the shadow into hiding, if nothing else. Which means that even though the guy is evil, it means that he can never achieve self-actualization. Which in Jungian philosophy is the highest good. It's kind of like brainwashing someone so that they can never perform a bad deed, but they're forbidden from entering heaven. They functionally have lost their free will. Whether it's destroying a shadow or disabling it, the effect is the same. And the effect is that the person is no longer whole. You've robbed him of a piece of his soul, perhaps an ugly piece of his soul. Perhaps a piece of his soul that he and the rest of the world is better off without, but a piece of his soul nonetheless. Which is tantamount to murder. Disregarding the fact that the act itself necessarily endangers murder. I do have streams, VODs, videos scheduled to the new year, so I might hold on to this VOD until next time we work on it. Just feels bad. I know the season's busy. Thing is, I've spent much of my career streaming to empty chats. I know how to do it, but it's a bit more difficult when you're drawing because I'm kind of locked in. I'm kind of focused. Like last time I streamed, I know I didn't get any. I haven't even bothered to clip it because there's nothing to clip. I barely talked during that stream. In this stream, I mean, the Persona discussion's kind of interesting, but it's interesting, but it's not. I don't think it's clip worthy. I don't. Partly just because it's too long. It's one of the reasons why I didn't bother commenting to that guy. If I could have rebutted him in a sentence, maybe I would have commented, but the issue is so complicated and requires you to cite so many sources. It's not worth it. I'm not going to get into essays in the comments. If I'm going to write an essay, I may as well make it into a video essay. Get views that way. At least then it's productive. It's actually creating something. So I'll tell you what, man, 90% of the time, if you're arguing with someone online, it's a brick wall. With rare exceptions, if someone's confident enough to espouse their beliefs online, he's not changing his mind. No, sir. There are rare exceptions, but those exceptions are so very rare. And even aside from the rarity, oftentimes the people that actually are willing to change their minds won't admit it. They'll change their minds privately or maybe years later when they reconsider the issue, but you won't ever know. The only time when it's worth arguing people online is if it's high profile. Not only because it can generate attention, but also just because other people will see it. And other people seeing it may learn from it and be educated by it. But this channel's so small, I don't really need to worry about that. I can just keep my level head. I'm not worried about it. Someone gets argumentative or mean, I can just boop, ban, boop, mute, boop, remove. I haven't had to do that a lot, but I do kind of regret moving the guy's essay comment just because I could have like specifically cited it when I do my video essay. But there was also another one I removed, and the reason was because he was making a joke, but I didn't get it. And I know that sounds really shallow on the first end, but the phrasing of it made me worry that it was inappropriate. That's why. It was on a collab video, I think. And so I couldn't tell, but it sounded like he may have been making an inappropriate comment about one of the guests. But I wasn't sure, so I just removed it. And then later on, I thought about it and I was like, oh wait, I get the joke now. But it was too late, I removed it. I even looked it up to see if I could re-add remove comments, and you can't, not on YouTube. Like, that's on me. The guy to whom that happened to doesn't even know it, I'm sure. Nor would he be watching this video. But if he is, I'm sorry. Your humor was beyond me. You're too intelligent for me. I try not to have a trigger finger. So I try not to have a trigger finger about that. Because that I can remember. Those are the only times I can remember in recent history where I've done that. And I regret both of them. So... These shadows are too strong. Do I have another one? The 27 is probably what I need. It's too black. Too black. Legs falling asleep. This kind of look like he has sweaty pits, but... It's you. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, it's all. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Just gotta trust the process. So I mean, I'm gonna have to add a second layer to shade the scales. Like I'm falling asleep. All right. I'm gonna try and wrap up the scale mail here. And then after that, I guess I'll probably call it. Longer. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Ba-dum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum. I hope I can do this without making it too wonky. Oh, hi, Marmalade. So I happened to catch out the first half hour. It relentlessly spends time mocking Catholicism, conservatives in general. Praise priest religious people as stupid or crazy or evil. Well, that's unfortunately not surprising. I think I saw the trailer for Knives Out at 3, and as soon as I saw that there was a priest character, I might have a post on it actually. I think if you went through the Twitter archives, I think I did make a post that said that predicted he was going to be the killer, or if not the killer, at least a villain. It's actually been kind of a discussion on Twitter lately because a post went mildly viral about it. It's a problem in anime, but also in Western media. There are not nearly enough positive representations of the church, much less accurate. Now, of course, being a Catholic, I would say that the positive interpretation is the accurate interpretation. But even if you wanted to, you know, realistically portray corruption in the church, that'd be fine. Make a running joke with the priest blaspheming Jesus' name. Ugh, yeah, that's a little gross. I guess, other than, the awful and blasphemous Knives Out 3, good Christmas so far? I know obviously the season's just begun, but... Me, I'm going to be leaving Saturday. Go visit some other family. Guess I went to my dad's side today and had good food. That's good. Good food's always good. My Christmas was good, but mostly unremarkable. Honestly, it sounds callous, but one of the best parts of the day was just finishing the video essay. It sounds callous, but I've been working hard on that, and I hate editing so much. So I'm so glad to be done with it. I have to make the thumbnail tomorrow, but that'll be easy. I understand completing a long task is relieving. Yeah, I was hoping to get it done yesterday. And I almost got it done. I was so close. Realistically, I wasn't as close as I thought I was. But I knocked it out, and I'm very happy with the end result. That video won't be dropping until after New Year's. Just because of regular scheduling. And because I want to have enough access to the internet that I can advertise it. I really want it to, well, of course I want it to be successful. But since the topic is dispatch, which is still trending, you know, it's been a while. Hoping to have it done a lot earlier. Has a better chance than most of my content of actually having some success. This is coming along nicely too. It's a little janky around the edges, but I think it's kind of okay because it implies kind of like a hooked shape, which I like and is pretty realistic, even if it wasn't necessarily the intention. Which is another thing. I mentioned this earlier, but I've been so blessed today. Just in the sense of a bunch of little things going my way. Like I'm doing art, and I make a mistake, but actually I kind of like the mistake, and the mistake actually makes the drawing look better even though I didn't intend it. Like, for example, the torso looks like it's leaning forward a little bit. Like his right shoulder, but to the left, is leaning forward, rather than the back one, which wasn't intentional, but he is in a walking pose, so that's what it would look like. And then when I was working on the video essay, I kept having... Editing became somewhat minimal because I would grab the clip, and the clip that I grabbed would time up with the narration almost perfectly, with very little interference. Oh, it's been a blessed day. I always get nervous when I have blessed days because then I start waiting for the other shoe to drop. But c'est la vie. I'll tell you what, going through this process has made me respect artists a lot more. I mean, I've always respected artists. I've always wanted to be an artist in a way, so you don't want to be something you don't respect. And I've always respected, and if I didn't respect the craft, I wouldn't be trying to get better at it. But I'll tell you what, let me think, we're 2 hours into this stream. I think I'm at 14 hours for this art piece. And we're still just getting started. I think you, Marmalade, I think you've only seen me work on this piece, but this is a small piece of a much larger piece that's going in to entail drawing several of these characters, sometimes drawing them more than once. And this piece is for my friends, so I'm not going easy on myself with it. Everything must be perfect. 'Cause ironically, he's gonna be in the, well, how do I put this? He's going to be front and center. So he's going to be... I want him to be posed in such a way that your eyes are immediately drawn to him. Even though he's front and center, he's not in the foreground. So your eye wouldn't be immediately drawn to him. Well, no, your eye would be immediately drawn to him, but you wouldn't see as much detail as you would some of the characters in the front. However, I did also have the idea. I'm making a giant poster for my friends. But I had the idea, since I have to make these wanted posters for them anyway, maybe I give them the poster and the wanted post, the big poster with all their characters, and the individual wanted posters as like trading cards. I think that would be really cool. which means that I am still probably going to go a little easy on the backgrounds for these pictures because, goodness gracious, I don't want to spend another 8 hours drawing wood grain. Pardon my French. You better believe I plan on reusing those assets, because goodness gracious, I'm not doing that again. A bad habit I've realized that I have is whenever I do detail, I get more detailed the further I go along. So you notice there's more scales on the left side than on the right side. It's really annoying. A solution. Let's see if we can try this. I almost feel like it looked better before. Now granted, some of that is because of the light. Maybe I just try to add some more scales. Let's erase. Is that not the light there? I didn't think I had another one. I did make another one. Okay. Just gonna do over the top ones here. Okay. The issue is, I think I'm just gonna have to redraw these. Things I do. Yes, continue watching. The neat part is that both of the lo-fi audio are exactly an hour, so it's kind of a good way of tracking time. Reach the One Piece lo-fi, go for 40 minutes past the Persona 3 lo-fi, and if you reach the One Piece lo-fi, you've gone too far. Sorry if I'm not talking. I really need to use the bathroom and I'm locked in. Which of those traits is predominant? I'm not sure. Yeah, just at a glance that looks better. I'm see views in the like in the corner of my eye, and I try not to get distracted by that. Hold on. I noticed they are curving in the wrong way. Okay, that probably looks better. I think I might need to go back over... I think I might need to go back over with some of the glare. Yeah, I will. I'll have to. Yeah, I guess that'll probably do it then. Let's at least add the layer of glare that I wanted. We can actually, like, especially on this side, be smaller, but we can, there's the lights over there too. So just that there. Okay, that's some pretty armor. That's some pretty armor. Yeah, I probably will do that. But probably not tonight. I'm crashing. I want to try and change this color. I'm not crazy about it. Specifically, it's making the crown look more like... I think it's like... Maybe it's just too saturated. But I feel like it's making the crown look like... look green instead of gold. It's too white. know what I mean? It looks... Is it just my brightness? Oh, I might just play with the colors later. In any case, we're definitely making progress. But I'm tired, so... If there's no one in chat, so I'll just call it. I'm tired, I need to rest, so... I think I've done all I can force myself to do today. But we made progress, and I'm happy with how this is coming along so far. I mean, we did the neck, and most of the chest piece is done right now. Most of the chest piece is done, I think, is a great. Oh, that's the jewelry one. Oh no, I touched something, didn't I? No, I don't think I did. I'm just gonna do a quick background check. Okay, there's nothing hanging off the edge. At some point I'm gonna have to finish the trunk, but at some point is not today. If no one's in chat, I'll just end stream, and maybe I'll see if someone else is streaming and just hop into them. I don't think anyone's here. Anyway, but anyone who's on YouTube, thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. I guess by the time this goes up, it'll be after New Year, so Happy New Year. Happy Epiphany. There we go. Happy Three Kings Day. Happy 8th through 12th day of Christmas. Anyway, I am really encouraged by how this is turning out, though. I need to have more confidence in myself when it comes to art, but that'll come with just doing more of it. But I'm really happy with how this is going so far. This is turning out really well. I always get scared because when I was a kid, I would sketch a lot, but then I felt like whenever I added color, it would suck. And the piece would become 90% worse. So for all through middle school, really, I only sketched, and I never colored. And people would say, you're not drawing, you're just sketching. It's like, but that's all I know how to do, because the second I add color, it falls apart. Which I think is almost the strength of the color first mentality that I have right now. Because I have the color I want from the get-go. Anyway. That'll do it for now. Catch you on the flip side.